Hey guys, welcome to Face with Tarrance Weaver. I'm Tarrance. I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you for your love and your support with this podcast. 2021 has been an amazing year, and I took the time to put together a highlight reel of 2021 so you guys can actually see some of our more prominent points that we had to display for you guys. Again, thank you for your love and your support. God bless. Hey Jay, thanks for stopping over.
Hey, no problem, man.
Cool. I want to take this opportunity to set up the scene as we record our first session.
For sure.
Face to face with Tarrance Weaver. But I'm Tarrance Weaver, and this is Jay behind the camera. You guys already met him.
Yes, sir.
But I wanted to show you guys something that means a lot to me.
Someone calls Tarrance and says, "Hey, how's Tim doing?" You know, it's like somebody cared enough after reading to want to know how I'm doing.
Yeah, that's dope.
And for me, that's big. That means I touched someone with my life. And my story is just the beginning of maybe their story. Maybe they just lost their mom to cancer, or their dad died when they were young.
You were telling me earlier, you were telling all of us earlier that this is your life, but you didn't choose this life. Can you break that down for us?
I mean, what I meant by that was I didn't choose this lifestyle of having to carry guns, having to deal with some of the shit I deal with every day. You know, I used to hoop and hang with the guys every day. You know, we met up in the same spot. We damn near did the same shit. You feel me? But once it's put, like, it's basically like your loyalty tested. You know, you do something to my close friend and expect me to just allow it. You know, or you do something to us as a whole and we faced with the life and death situation. It's either y'all gonna get us or we gonna get y'all. Like, it's a dog eat dog world, but people don't understand that shit, like, from my point of view.
And that's just brought down from generation to generation.
Man, honestly, I could just speak from my generation, because a lot of this shit I don't know where it came from.
Really?
You know, me growing up and understanding how that shit used to go, it was a lot of organization in it.
Okay.
You feel me? Like, it ain't no order. It ain't no order no more. It's like, it's no leaders. You know, it's people with voices like myself, you know, and I try to lead, but it ain't too many people that want to follow nowadays.
Out there who are experiencing or in love with a guy, and their parents or friends may be saying, "Hey, slow down a little bit. He's not the one." And just like you just gave us a red flag, you said, "Hey, if the person is pushing you really fast, they have an agenda."
Yes, absolutely. So one of the primary signs that you see in domestic violence is that really fast, passionate, madly in love after a day or a week or very brief period of time. The other things that you can look for, they feel amazing, but they've put you on a pedestal and they don't actually know who you are.
Wow.
And so they're idolizing you, but it's not actually you that they're idolizing because they don't know you. It's the idea of this relationship that they're idolizing. And they're pushing you forward. Everything is amazing. They connect with you on so many different levels. You talk all day and all night and neglect other parts of your life. That's typically something that happens. And then most of the time it feels so good that there's no way that you can tell that there's red flags. The primary way to tell that's a red flag in the beginning is the speed and the passion that are involved. A healthy relationship will start with getting to know each other, because you don't know if you like someone until you know them. And if you feel like you're in love with someone after one night of knowing them, then that's not real love.
And that's the thing. Were you really afraid? Because you said you were kind of ashamed that you hadn't had sex. Were you afraid of being exposed when you wrote these words? That, oh, you're not really a Christian. You're not even a good girl, and you know. So those things came up.
I was ashamed to even admit I had those thoughts or had even engaged in anything. But yet at the same time, I was just so torn, because I knew God created us as sexual beings, and everyone told me sex is beautiful, it's wonderful in the context of in a married relationship. And I thought, okay, so my whole life I'm told, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, and now all of a sudden, oh, I'm married, so now, oh, do this all the time, do this because this keeps your relationship together. But I think that's what the enemy wants us to. He wants us to make it seem like it's rules, you know, like God put these rules.
If you can go back in your past what would you change? Especially with dealing with your gift. I know you said you lost your gift at an early age. If you can go back and stop that or talk to that little kid, what advice would you give that little kid?
Man. So I don't like having regrets because my children are my gifts from that. But the only thing I would change because, man, when we don't really take into account how long, like, what really take place, like, man, I apologize for before, like, man, them women I didn't have to put them women through that. Right. Them 4 different baby mothers, because each one of them would probably be married, living their own life, or doing whatever it is. I could have altered that from them by putting the kids in them like that.
Right.
And that's the only thing that, like, yeah.
So can you tell me about that little girl? Why is that her perception of life?
I mean, at that time, I felt like I had nowhere to go. I felt like I had no help, no outlet. I felt like I was dying and living at the same time. Like, I don't know. It was like every day it was something in my head, or that would happen, or that someone would come to me with it. It's just like, I'm sitting here being everybody's Dr. Phil, but where's mine?
Think about this. It's only so much that she can do with the funding that we have, because Chicago Public School claim they don't have a lot of money, but they don't put it in the right places. Mm-hmm. You know, that's way I feel. They don't put it in the right places. Okay. So it's only so much that you can do. You are mandated to counsel this kid for however long it is. I'm not a guidance counselor, so I don't really know how long it is. But at some point, where do we send them after we can no longer, give them the guidance that they need?
Send them back home to the mom who's grieving.
Or send them, fling them to the support staff that
can't
they
talk
to.
Yeah, and that can't really talk on a
it
deep level.
Really can't, right.
And send them back home to the brother that's grieving because he lost his uncle, or the mom that just lost her husband, or, and they still can't talk.
Right.
They can't talk in any other environment. So what do the kids do? They hold it in. Mm-hmm. And then you get a phone call saying, hey, come to the school because your granddaughter is about to commit suicide. She wants to commit suicide. Mm-hmm. Because she can't talk to nobody.
But this is after she threatened 3 kids in the classroom to kill them because they were bullying her. So we found this out later.
So you don't know this, but do you remember the boys I used to always kick with when I was younger?
Which ones?
Stayed around the corner.
Can't say names.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Regardless, my brothers. So let's just say your daughter shot a gun and a person for the first time at 7. Didn't kill him, but was a life and death situation. Not for me, but for someone else. On some let me save you before you die type stuff. So, yeah. You know how I am. Once it gets down to it, I gotta do what I can. So, yeah.
So how does that make you feel, Annetta?
She look like she's not surprised.
Do you see my head rocking? I'm not surprised that child did that.
How come?
That's Alex.
What does that mean?
Alex has been known to just do things.
Paul died at 7 months from crib death, or what is now known as sudden infant death syndrome, SIDS. According to the Free Dictionary by Farlex, SIDS is considered death from cessation of breathing in a seemingly healthy infant, almost always during sleep. I can't help but to think that if I had been in that room with him, maybe I could have saved him. And talking to the doctor about possibly getting rid of this baby, or possibly putting him up for adoption, my doctor told me that I would be making a big mistake and that he had a feeling about this baby boy. He told me, this one will be your mama's boy, and he will stand by you until the end. With a renewed outlook on life, I stood up and looked in the mirror with thoughts of walking into this pregnancy with a failing marriage, 2 sons, and a future mama's boy. The time arrived for me to endure this pregnancy and face my worst fears again. I gave birth to my 4th child, James Tarrance Weaver.
With my right hand trembling with a gun in it, I knelt on my right knee facing the bed, eager to meet my fate, when something came over me and said, pause. But one thing I want to do was show you guys today that the hurt and the pain and the struggle that I went through in life wasn't for nothing. Like the hurt that I felt as I wrote this book was from my brother dying and my mom, going through the things that she went through. It's the same story that a lot of us have. So this aggressive, almost suicidal, almost murderous guy still has custody to his kids.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And that is unfortunately very common in domestic abuse cases. Currently, a lot of states do not recognize domestic violence as child abuse. And so watching your parent get beat does not qualify as actual child abuse.
Wow. And the thing is, you wouldn't leave because you wanted to fix it for your family, but yet you never thought about leaving to save your family.
I mean, I thought about leaving. I had left him at this point several times.
But you always go
But
back.
I always went back.
Okay.
I was always convinced, and that's normal. Most abuse victims do go back 7 times before they're either murdered or they leave permanently.
Wow.
And that's very common.
Learn to love people for who they are, not what they are. And also learn to communicate with the people that are closest to you. Because once you start communicating, they'll become more open and they'll start to go, okay, I think I can tell you this now.
Yeah.
So there's this story that Tarrance was telling us that one day you were face to face with I would presume is your enemy at the moment, and both of you had an opportunity to take either of you could have died that day.
Yeah.
And in walked, I like to say, this angel of a person walking around, but in walks this guy.
I would say get to know your kid.
Not even just get to know them, but observe, listen, because it's not that most of the time we don't talk because of the reaction we will get. A lot of parents, because I'm going to kill him and this, and you don't realize the damage is already done. All you can do is comfort and help heal the damage. But a parent's first reaction is,
I want to go back to the problem and I want to, right.
But it's like that doesn't change what the problem, caused. Help me now. Listen to me now. Because usually we don't want answers and stuff like that. We just want safety.
Is that it wasn't about the things that happened. It wasn't about the circumstances. It was about where was my heart. And my heart wanted things that Satan put before me and said, you'll be happy if you're popular. You'll be happy if you fit in. And then it's like anything, whatever we try to fill our lives with to make us happy, they never end up satisfying us. Just like you were saying in your story.
And for me, my dad was my hero. I thought he was indestructible. And when I got the word that he had passed, a piece of me passed. You can't not have someone you love that much leave and not have a piece of you leave with.
Hey guys, welcome back to Face to Face. I'm Tarrance, and today we're going to move forward in our segments. So I want to introduce someone that I met. Her name is Cleary, and we actually met on a project where we both are very passionate about helping and changing lives and making a difference by our stories. And we had an opportunity to collab on a play that I got involved in or pulled into, and she was a part of. But we'll get to that here in a little bit. Without further ado, I want to go ahead and introduce Cleary to you guys. Hey Cleary, welcome to the show.
Hey.
How are you doing?
I'm good, Tarrance.
Okay. So I know the people and myself want to know, who is Cleary?
Who is Cleary?
Who is Cleary?
Yeah. I am a 31-year-old white cis woman living in Chicago.
Okay.
My pronouns are she, her. And I currently work for a nonprofit theater company. That's how we met.
Yeah.
I am a theater artist. I'm a facilitator. I'm a grant writer. I'm an abolitionist. And I'm from Lansing, Michigan. Grew up in a household with parents who were, working class. My mom cleaned houses when I was little. My dad was a mechanic. They're both retired now. Blessed because they worked very hard. And then, eventually made my way to Detroit. And then I came to Chicago after that. So.
Okay. Hopefully you enjoyed the reflection over 2021. And now we look forward to having your love and your support for 2022. Please like, share, and follow these videos. Take care.